All right, it's finally time to start talking about the business at hand. That are the two biggest wrestling topics that are kind of sort of outside the ring that happened inside the ring last Saturday night main event with the Goldberg retirement and Seth Rollins' unfortunate injury. Seth actually updated the situation on the Rich Eisen show. He's filling in for Rich as the host. Dave the Stepdad, he will be here momentarily so we can get this started. This will probably be rather quick, but we'll be able to talk about the career that is Goldberg and the injury that has happened to Seth. Seth's second big knee injury. Uh, we'll see how long he'll be out for. And I kind of love the little update that Paul Heyman had on Monday Night Raw this week, where Heyman kind of showed, okay, Seth can keep Money in the Bank because he still has 11 months to cash it. So we're going to get into that when Dave the Stepdad gets here. I sent him the invite. And we're going to get to this as soon as possible. Big weekend in wrestling. And obviously, Roman Reigns returning. Huge deal. We got the Tribal Chief. I'm not sure we're going to call him TC1 or OTC1. I'm not going to probably do that, even though that title does look clean, though. That title belt looks super clean. And looking forward to seeing what's going to come next from the Roman and Jay versus Punk and not Punk versus Breaker and Reed. So we already know Punk's going to get Gunther. We know Naomi, Io, Rhea. We know Tiffany and Jade. So we know we see some stuff. We're seeing some things happen on. We're seeing some things come up for SummerSlam. So we're looking forward to that. All-in Endgame, that was fun. With Mox and Hangman. Got a lot of good stuff that happened this weekend. Dynamite showing. We kind of fall out from what All-In was. Looking forward to that later tonight. And of course, SmackDown and a little bit of NXT. I didn't get the chance to watch NXT. I was watching the All-Star game last night. But I'll watch NXT at some point today. And then, since there's no real sports on, no like baseball or anything else on, except for maybe MLS. And then get the NXT, get some Dynamite in, and we'll go from there pretty much. But Dave the Stepdad, he will be here, and we can talk about and reflect on the career of Goldberg and kind of talk about Seth Rollins' injury. Might as well do both of them all at once. Yeah, he didn't. He will be here momentarily. So, what are you guys' thoughts on the weekend of wrestling? What were some of your favorite moments of the weekend? Favorite matches of the weekend? Like Mox Hangman is probably the best match, I would say. Love the story they told, and it's a problem I have with AEW is they don't tell stories, and they've had 3 legitimate ones, truthfully, since their inception, and have been like 1v1 stories, not like faction stuff. Which their best match is probably Anarchy in the Arena because that's the most creative match they have. But their storytelling, and like I've kind of been annoyed with it because they don't tell them, and they kind of like do something for a month and then move on, do something for a month and then move on. But they told the story here with Hangman, and they told the story here with Mox and the Death Riders, and I thought it was a really good look and a good way to provide closure or to provide Hangman finally getting the validation and the redemption that he seeks. I thought that was great. Where do you go from here? That's the key part. And tonight will answer some questions, I'm sure. But there's still a lot of stuff to go on with Swerve and with Ospreay and of course MJF with the Casino Gauntlet win. MJF could be the ultra villain that he has always been. And he can tell a story, obviously. He can tell it well. But I just need to see if AEW can follow up well, may have been the most important match ever, and continue to tell good stories. I need that from AEW. The only other ones I thought they told were 1v1, and I thought it was good. The only other one was Mariah and Tony. So that's the other part about this. They just don't tell them. They just don't tell long form stories. I need more of that. I think that's the stuff that like gets me interested in AEW. It's the long form stuff, and you can really kind of explore. There's a lot to explore with some things. Like Cole and JF, I thought was okay, but this is two guys who are villains at heart who are fun to watch, yes, but just villains, kind of. So, like you're kind of waiting for who's backstabbing who, and you know it's coming. You know the end of that one. To me, so I just never got. A lot of people didn't get invested in this like they should have. Plus, Adam Cole's injury didn't help either, and hopefully he gets well soon too. That's another kind of thing that got buried and lost in the sauce of the entire weekend. Adam Cole's injury. Watching that power bomb to the apron where it was not his shoulder blades, it was the back of his head that hit the apron. Ugh, that was gross. And it was heartbreaking to see him have to give up the the TNT title, I should say, and get the embrace from Daniel Garcia and a lot of the people involved, Daddy Magic, all those people. And then obviously the embrace of his two longtime friends of Kyle O'Reilly and Roddy Strong, and the passion that they've had for the emotion that they've had and the stories they told with and against each other over the years. Awesome. Lacey chimes in. What up, Lacey? You missed AEW, but ELA was the best. ELA was amazing. That was absolutely amazing. What those two did. They were special. They were absolutely special. It was a 25-minute match, and it was incredible. I think them wrestling to a draw and then Naomi cashing in the way she did, I thought was awesome. I thought that was a great way to set up SummerSlam and unpredictable because I think everybody expected, and here's what I expected to happen with Naomi. I thought Tiff and Jade were going to have their match at SummerSlam, do what they do, destroy each other for a good 15 minutes or so, and then neither can pin the other, and then Naomi swoops in, picks the bones, pins Jade, wins the title. That's legitimately what I thought was going to happen. I was fully prepared. I don't know if Jade's really ready to be champion yet, but I guess we'll find out in a couple weeks. Dave the Stepdad is here now, as kind of setting it up. So Dave the Stepdad is here. Yo,
Yo, Beast.
what's happening?
Yo, man, your mic doesn't sound good for the first time, bro.
Oh, it's probably the headphones. Let me switch up headphones, and I can probably get it better. Okay, it's the
Say,
headphones.
say, hello, welcome to McDonald's. How may I help you?
Oh, it's funny. I'm gonna switch to headphones. Give me a sec. I'm gonna switch up headphones.
That's what you sound like right now.
All right, how about now?
There you go.
Yep, it's the headphones. Okay, yeah. So like the headphones I got are like from like this place called Local Hot Deals. That like they're good headphones for music, but they're apparently not good headphones for communication. So that's what I've learned about these.
Hold on one
They're
sec.
really good for music and they're good for noise canceling, but they're not good for communication. So I think that's what we've learned here. But all right, we can get this started and talk about Seth and obviously the Goldberg is the main story here, but obviously Seth Rollins' injury. There's some updates provided by Seth Rollins himself earlier today.
All right, hold on one second. All right. So I know it doesn't matter, but respect. So KFC got I can talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
Where you get a bucket of chicken and 15.
Okay.
So wait, hold
Slides my headphones. One second. There we go. Actually, you know what? They are. They are the. That was on the right. The right side. Yeah, that was the right side. Cool. 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 Bring it. Got a bucket of.
All right, you there?
What's this about KFC? So if you spend $15, you get a like a free bucket of chicken, like an eight
Yeah,
piece.
yeah, the 8 piece on. Yeah,
Okay.
or you could get the chicken tenders like those that they so right, and I pay for it, through Apple Pay because you gotta do a digital. So but then I'm like, what the hell? So I check my close the app, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna try this again. The
Oh,
second
they
time.
charge you twice.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what I was going on.
So what app did you order this in? Did you order this
KFC app.
in OKC's app? Okay.
Yeah, and this either. So I'm like,
Dude, check your junk mail as well. I guess I think it's the next thing I would do is like check your junk mail. And did you get like a notification of like you spent X amount of money, X amount of dollars,
no, that's what I'm
and
saying.
you get that either?
No, bro.
Something ain't right.
Yeah, and that's why what I did was I sent and
Hmm.
then I said I'm ready, and
Hmm.
then I'm because again my order and get it. That I'm like, oh. Then I got a dumbass doing this. Like, why? Right when I'm hot with you, nobody.
Okay, so ultimately, you never spent any money. You could pretty much start from zero, and like you weren't charged anything, right?
Hope not.
All right, yeah. Look at your like your bank account look at your bank transactions, and just in case.
Yeah,
And
I'm gonna do that after we're done the pod though.
yeah, okay, yeah, but obviously this is gonna be quick because we got like two like stories to really kind of discuss here. So this will probably be relatively quick. So look, we can get this started.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the worst podcast of all time. I don't even like that. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the worst podcast of all time. It's still real to me. It's still trash to me. I'm Dave the stepdad, not the dad who stepped up, and I'm here with Michael. Michael.
I am Beastmike. Yes, I am here with Dave the Hungry Stepdad. He's looking for dinner options at this moment in time.
Well, I
But
like that. Dave the hungry stepdad. I like that.
but now we got some business to attend to that happened from Saturday night's main event. Two pieces of business being the retirement of Goldberg and the injury to Seth Rollins. The two obviously big stories that are both in and out of the ring. I think we might as well do Goldberg first since his retirement. Seth's is still ongoing. And so Goldberg had his last match against Gunther, World Heavyweight Championship. It wasn't just a come through run through. It wasn't just a mop up situation. They actually did like a legitimate 18-20 minute match. So it was legitimate match between Goldberg and Gunther, and Goldberg looked pretty good, honestly. Like he absorbed the chops early, and like we got a mix of the Gunther offense, which is wear you down, and of course that high octane like power game that Goldberg does and does well. Also, Charles Robinson sent to the Shadow Realm for the second time in like 3 weeks, which is quite a thing because he even revealed after the fact on his Twitter that he got a cracked rib from Goldberg spearing him. Like Charles Robinson's taking some crazy bumps over this year. But Goldberg went out, and I think they didn't do Goldberg dirty. I would say in the match itself, uh, the spear jackhammer, Goldberg actually getting Gunther up to do the jackhammer, I thought was really impressive. And the spear obviously happened. It was clean, and ultimately it was Goldberg passing out from the sleeper and not getting pinned, which I thought was a little bit of a surprise. But Goldberg passed out to the sleeper, and Gunther retains the title. I think as we all kind of expected him to. But as we look back on Goldberg, I think NBC kind of did him dirty by cutting his speech. Like people made like the sarcastic joke that Bret Hart was the one who did it, but I think they kind of did him dirty by cutting his
The Bret
speech. I
Hart,
would
good
say,
job.
yeah, Bret Hart doing Goldberg dirty in his home in Atlanta. But
There we go. Okay. Hold it. So hold on. Not to cut you off. So JJ told me it went through. So maybe it was Apple Pay and not Cash App. That was the
okay,
issue for some reason.
all right, that's
Chicken
good.
on the
That's good.
way.
So Dave the Hungry Stepdad will be eating momentarily. Let it be known. So as we look back on Goldberg and obviously the run in WCW, the run in WWE, the first run, and then like the occasional pop ups he'd have, like, what are some things that you're gonna remember Goldberg by?
I'm gonna ask you the same thing, man. The man. First of all, this is a retirement podcast. We gotta put more respect on his name, man. We gotta
Hmm.
sit there. We gotta say, man, this podcast is about his retirement. This is about one of the best auras, one of the best gimmicks, one of the
Hmm.
best entrances, one of
Hmm.
the best finishers with the jackhammer in all of wrestling. One of the well, don't ask Bret Hart, but he's one of the best wrestlers ever. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Man, all of that, man. Like that's what we talking about, man. Or Biggie, he probably cried. You know what I mean?
Yeah, really.
He probably cried. But like this man had two moves, but the aura is what, and his believability is what
Yes.
got him through it all. You want to talk shit about John Cena, the five moves of doom? What about Goldberg?
Who
So
legitimately had effectively too, and it's the intensity. Like one of the top 5 to 10 most intense people I've ever seen in wrestling, and and you could tell like it looked real the way Goldberg was spearing people, especially in WCW. Like how he ran through that entire roster, and probably in some cases twice, like with that spear. And I think the signature moment for me, aside from obviously the fight with Hogan, when he beat Hogan in
yeah,
the Georgia Dome, like
yeah.
obviously like that's the crowning moment of his career, sure. But the La Parka moment, where La Parka knows what time it is, he grabs the chair, and then like Goldberg tells the ref, like, go ahead, do it, like hit me in the head, go ahead, hit me right here. So the good news is for La Parka, he hits him clean in the head with the chair. The bad news is by the time the Parker turns around, there's like a runaway freight train coming towards his ribs, and he spears him into the next week. But the jackhammer that preceded that followed it was so unnecessary. But like that's like the first. I know they kind of recreated it with the Christian spear when Goldberg first came to WWE, and then like throw Christian into the mat. But like the spear that he hit La Parker with, I think is like the next most like WCW wise. That's like the first thing I think of when it came to Goldberg. It's just like how intense is this dude?
For me, obviously, the same thing. Georgia beat Hulk Hogan. And I think the debut, not the no, not the debut. Whoa, was it the debut? When he debuted
When he came for The Rock,
for the Rock,
or
yeah.
oh yeah, it was a debut. Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
WWE
yeah.
debut. Yeah, it was right after WrestleMania 19. It was a WWE debut. The first thing he did in WWE was come after The Rock.
Yeah, that for me that was the goosebumps and shit, the holy shit moment. That's what that was with me.
That was a big one. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a big one. That was a big one. Like nobody saw it coming because it's like okay, we've seen a lot of WCW dudes pull up. Like we saw Booker, who was the first one to really show him and Diamond Dallas Page. Like we saw, eventually Scott Steiner pulled up, but like we didn't like expect to see Goldberg, who was WCW without the WWE stuff, pull up and like be the biggest star to not jump ship and be like, whoa, like this was different, and this is a game changing different with Goldberg showing up and immediately spearing the Rock, like spearing the soul out of the Rock, and like where Rock's ribs were howling when Goldberg speared him that one night in Seattle. Like, yo, that was different. Yeah, Goldberg showing up the way he did, that was
Yo,
different.
Mike.
Yep.
Oh, that was love. I ain't had to come back in and do all that. You just don't hear me clearly?
Yeah, I got you. I still got
Yeah.
you.
My bad. That was Queenie, man. I had to answer that real quick. Anyway, I heard you. I heard the last thing you said.
Oh, with Goldberg, like what he did in Seattle. Yeah, the
Yeah,
Raw, his Raw debut was in Seattle. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man. Like I said, man, for Goldberg, man, just he's a top fiver in a lot of categories when it, like I said, when it comes to aura alone, man. Like, but
Uh, good.
the credit and his aura went over so much that all he needed was them two moves,
Mm-hmm.
and that's crazy. Like he really made a living off two moves, and one was his signature, one was his finisher. That don't work.
Right.
Do it again. Most of the time, it works. What was your best Goldberg match?
Okay. WCW, probably Diamond Dallas Page is probably my favorite.
Okay.
The match we had with DDP, he was champion, and obviously Page was on a come up.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably say in WCW is probably that one. Obviously Hogan told the best story, but
Yeah.
I thought that was like my favorite Goldberg match in WCW. In WWE, when he terrorized the Elimination Chamber, I thought that was awesome. Like his match inside the chamber where he destroyed the field. I thought that was great. Individually, one on one, it's weird because somebody posted this a while ago, and I think it remains true. His feud with Brock Lesnar,
That's exactly what I was
where
about to say.
he had the worst high profile match in WrestleMania history with 20,
Yeah.
had the greatest squash match of all time at that Survivor Series, and then the following WrestleMania had the best under 5 minute match in WrestleMania history.
Yeah.
Like, legitimately, like, is that's probably my favorite WrestleMania, like the favorite Goldberg match in WWE. Probably one on one is probably the Lesnar match from '33. Is probably that one. It got to the point, which is what both guys did at that time, which like Goldberg had two moves, Brock Lesnar had two moves. It made sense that they came together and just spammed the moves the entire match and went 5 minutes. It just made way too much sense. I just thought like these two are never built for marathons; they're built for sprints, and I think they both meshed so well because of how intense they both are. And I thought that was a really fun 5 minute sprint between Goldberg and Brock at WrestleMania 33. So like of all the WWE matches, that's probably my favorite.
Are you able to see me? I'm not moving on my end.
No, I'm not able to see. Maybe
Oh
your
damn.
camera's off or
No, 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 no. I'm still here. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Hold on. Let me double check. Let me double check. Cause I'm able to see myself, but I realize I'm not moving. Hold on.
mm,
Let me turn it back on.
there you go.
All right, that's all I just do. Cool. Damn, I ain't got to log out. All right, go ahead.
Yeah,
Space
yeah,
is acting different.
there you go. That works. But yeah,
Yeah,
like yeah, so that's my like my favorite Goldberg matches in both companies. Like, what say you?
same thing. Same Brock Lesnar. Um,
Okay.
that yeah, that the same thing. Brock Lesnar, man. Shocked everybody. Um, especially after that shitty ass match before
hmm
with Brock. But yeah, that was it. And number two, Gunther.
Good way to
Like
go out.
yeah, on both companies. Like we already know. Like that that match with Hogan is the best storyline driven, man. Like
hmm
that got to be up there in somebody's top anything, man, as far as storylines concerned. You know what I mean? If I was an adult, 'cause you know I love the storylines with wrestling. If I was an adult, I probably would have shed a tear, yo.
Oh
I
yeah. Oh,
I
back
probably would
then,
have shed a tear.
like
Yeah,
NWO, how they terrorized WCW, and like yeah, if you're an Atlantean at that time, and like that was like the place to be that night. And I know like, its anniversary just happened like last week or 2 weeks ago of that match in the Georgia Dome, and like that's like it's jammed. There's like 65,000 people in that building, and their their entire hearts and souls are for the most part cheering for Goldberg, and they're cheering the entire match. And like you see stuff being thrown, like streamers or toilet paper, like being thrown in. Like the scene was absolutely insane for that. Like thinking back to that match, and then like that moment where Goldberg finally spears him, and you know it's over, and you know it's pretty much a wrap. That Hogan's not getting up from the incoming jackhammer, and like that was special. That was a truly special moment to see Goldberg get that done and win the title and be a double champion. Like I thought that was a really awesome moment there.
I'm surprised he never won a Royal Rumble.
Yeah, he was only in two. He was in '04 when that's what kicked off the Lesnar rivalry to begin with. And then he was in 17 in 2017. We got towards the end. And I know like he came out later, but he eliminated Lesnar, but Undertaker eliminated him. Because I think everyone was like teasing the whole. Okay, could it be Goldberg versus Undertaker, or how are they? Because they kind of teased it with Goldberg and Taker, um, at some point. I think the Raw before or something like that, and they kind of sort of teased like, okay, this could actually happen. This could be a Goldberg versus Taker thing. Then we got the terrible match at Super Showdown, but we ain't talking about that. And Mr. Heaton pulls up, and then we got a little bit of Goldberg Reigns. We got a little bit of like obviously Undertaker eliminating eliminating Goldberg, like I mentioned, and so we got a lot of good little teasers in there in that Rumble. I hated the Goldberg Fiend Universal title match. I hated that. Like that felt completely unnecessary. But at least that title reign only lasted a month, so it wasn't like the complete end of the world.
Goldberg versus Taker WrestleMania. Who wins?
Does Taker still have the streak at this time?
Yes. Peak of
Then Taker.
Powers. Peak of Powers Goldberg.
Undertaker wins. I think that's a really good. That's one of two that would have been truly awesome to have. Of Peak of Powers Taker versus Peak of Powers Goldberg, and obviously Sting. But yeah, Peak of Powers Taker versus Goldberg versus Peak of Powers Goldberg. So like this could have been done like '05 ish. We could have done this in '04 or '05, and it would have worked because Taker from '04 to like 2009 was on a different level. So like that would have worked.
Now,
Yeah,
are you
I
saying
think Taker wins that, but that's a really good fight.
Taker will win because he's a he's a W Goldberg's a WCW guy, or were you talking about if you take the politics out of it?
I think it'd be a mix of Taker out wrestling him.
Because I'm taking the politics out of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think Taker would just out wrestle him. I
Yeah.
think it's because the power game. Taker's probably not winning the power game against Goldberg. Like the intensity
Not by
game,
much though.
not by much, right? Like Goldberg's probably a little stronger and slightly more intense, but psychologically speaking, like I'm not sure Goldberg would be shook by the like psychological stuff that Taker would do. But I think Taker would just find a way because we've seen Taker take so much punishment. And like prime Taker, like you could hit this man with a tank and he probably would still get up.
Yeah.
That's like I think it's just the punishment that Taker would be willing to take. I think Goldberg wouldn't be able to stand up to it after a while.
I'm gonna tell you who Goldberg is in 2025.
Okay.
Jacob Fatu.
Mm, because of I like it. The intensity.
The intensity,
The
the raw power.
yes.
He's not intimidated by nobody.
Mm-hmm.
The athleticism, he's believable. The
Mm-hmm.
aura. That's
Oh
what
yeah,
Goldberg
there's a
is in
whole lot of aura with
2025.
Jacob. That's a good comp. There's a whole
Don't
lot of era with Jacob.
and don't forget Goldberg can do a moonsault too. I
Yeah,
don't know about
yeah, yeah.
now,
That's
but
true.
he did a couple moonsaults too. So if he wanted to add that a little bit more to his to to his wrestling moves,
Mm-hmm.
then he could have done that. But yeah, that's Jacob Goldberg 2025 is Jacob Fatu, but just better.
As I mentioned before, headshots didn't phase Goldberg at peak of powers. As
Yeah.
headshots don't phase Jacob currently at peak of powers.
What you say, man? Never Samoan, never had but a Samoan.
Never had but a Samoan,
Yeah.
correct?
um, for me, all right. Let's let's get to the real now. Let's get. Matter of fact, hold on. We can either go WrestleMania or SummerSlam. Main event.
Mm-hmm.
CM Punk got the title on the line. CM Punk got the title. Who wins? Punk or Goldberg?
Both at peak of powers, Goldberg. I think Goldberg wins that. I think he just overwhelms CM Punk with his power game. yes, Punk can absolutely wrestle, and I think Punk would take it personally since he's such a Bret Hart guy. I think he would take it personally against Goldberg, but
Oh yeah.
since he's such a Bret Hart guy, I think he would absolutely take it personally. And I'm very sure there'd be a sharpshooter thrown in there. I just think the power game would just overwhelm him. I think Goldberg would just overwhelm Punk with the power.
Let me go with a Money in the Bank. Um, Money in the Bank co-main event. Edge and Goldberg.
Ooh, let's see. Edge Goldberg is an interesting one because again, Edge really good with the wrestling and with the technical game. I think that's and I think Edge is a psychological game. That's a good one. I think Edge might win that.
I think Punk can beat. I think Punk will win over Goldberg with the psychological game as well.
Okay.
Because listen, like what Jacobs what Solo say, he's all gas, no brains.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
That same thing with Goldberg. That,
Yeah,
that
that
he got
that is
no.
effectively Goldberg in a nutshell. That is true. That is effectively
he,
Goldberg in a nutshell. You're not wrong.
he has the speed, he has the power, he has the attention, like all that we said, but he ain't got no motherfucking psychology in the ring, bro.
Nope. It is straightforward. It is like which made that all time spot where Goldberg's going to spear Bret Hart and Bret Hart's got a steel plate basically covering his chest.
Oh, we gonna get into that. We gonna get into
That was
that.
that was yeah, that was all time moves. And I love that like they kind of repeated it with Grayson Waller and Braun Breaker, but
Hmm.
that was an all time spot. But yeah, we'll obviously talk about that.
So even any given day, right? No matter how great Goldberg is,
Hmm.
because of his psychology alone, RKO would beat Goldberg.
Oh, because he could Goldberg could run head first into it.
Huh?
Could Goldberg could run head first into an RKO.
Easy.
The counter would be too smooth. Like Randy
Yeah,
would counter it so smooth.
exactly. Well, I don't see again. Now we talk. All right, you know what? Let's just get into the meat and potatoes of this Goldberg thing because it sounds good. He would counter smooth, but ain't no telling what the hell Goldberg would do because again, he has no psychology, so he might fuck it up. So let's get into the dark side of Goldberg. When
Okay.
William Regal says he can't wrestle, like he was hard. It was hard for him to wrestle him.
Hmm.
Let's get to the dark side of it, man. Um, one of the you said the best squash match of all time. The I believe the biggest potential squash, the biggest potential best squash match of all time was gone because it was supposed to be Goldberg and Chris Jericho,
Mm.
and Jericho was supposed to get literally his shoes knocked off. They didn't do it. That
That's
would
right.
have been
Goldberg
the
and Jericho had beef too. That's right. Yeah, they
yeah.
had beef for a while. They
Mhm.
might still have it actually.
And and Jericho wanted to that's what he wanted. He was like, yo, if I'm be part of the squash match, I wanted to be the best squash match ever. And
I get
I
it.
want to go over to spare me and get my boots knocked off.
Hmm.
And they ain't do it. And Chris Jericho,
Mm.
I ain't say he's still mad about it to this day, but he still talks about how like, yo, WCW fucked up. That could have because it would have been funny, someone getting their boots
It, it,
literally.
it would have legitimately it would have fit
Yeah.
Jericho's like kind of a non-serious heel character he had in WCW. So yeah, I can see that. I can totally see that from Jericho.
There's a couple people that's not biggest fan of Goldberg, man.
Right.
I mean, and William Regal, like I said, William Regal talks about how it was hard as hell to work with him. And there's people who are saying like, yo, anybody can wrestle with William Regal. William Regal will make you, look good and this and that. But
Hmm.
yeah, that match was trash, bro. With Goldberg and Regal, I don't know if you remember that WCW, but that match was trash, bro. It was sloppy, and Regal was pissed.
Mm.
Regal was pissed, like, yo, this is not me, yo. Like, what are you doing? And then, and then Bret Hart. Bret Hart,
Yep.
Bret,
Long time up. And Bret Hart with that obviously the super kick.
yeah, man, and we're talking about two of the safest wrestlers,
Hmm.
Regal and Bret Hart, two of the best technicians. We talk
Right.
about them, and you can't be safe with them.
Yeah, something up with that.
That's like if you got beef with somebody and that person, nobody got beef with this person and nobody got beef with that person, but you the common denominator.
But yeah, they both got beef with you.
Yeah, you the common denominator, man. And there, I might be wrong, but I think I heard. I, I shouldn't even be saying it, but I think I heard Taker criticize Goldberg as well. I think I heard him on one of his podcasts. I might be
Mm.
wrong, but I think I heard him criticize Goldberg. There's a lot of people who criticize Goldberg, man, of his work effort and all that, man. It's like,
I think a lot of people think that's. I think a lot of people think exactly what we kind of alluded to, where Goldberg built his career and his name off of a dope entrance with the security guards and the officers. And I love the callback of bringing back the OGs
yeah,
officers for his last entrance. I thought that was super dope.
yeah,
And,
absolutely.
and then obviously the aura with the smoke and the pyro and all that, and then obviously the spear and jackhammer, which is effectively what he did. Like effectively, a lot of people I think felt like, oh, this dude's overhyped, but yeah, I can understand why people are like, oh, this dude's really not that serious. Like bell to bell in a wrestling ring, like there's probably a lot of cats, a lot of people would thought like, oh, he's not like Goldberg's not as good as this guy or not as good as this guy. Yeah, like I can see why like the true technicians would be like, nah, what are we hyping up this guy for? Like I can see that. Like I can see why people would be so mad. And where Goldberg was kind of sort of like brain dead on autopilot with the whole I think the one of the funniest spots of all time, and Bret Hart outsmarting him, which I thought was with the chest plate, which I thought was legitimately hilarious. Like how Bret Hart was able to just completely outsmart Goldberg. Like Goldberg runs headfirst into the steel plate that he wore. And as I mentioned, I love Grayson Waller and Braun Breaker replicating that spot. I thought that was super cool.
I now don't get it twisted. Now I do believe some of it was. I believe a lot of it was hate, because like you said, it was like he built his name off for everything that has everything but in the ring.
Hmm.
I mean, bro, that's all part of wrestling
Part of
storylines,
the presentation, yeah.
believability. I mean, some people you gotta be like, I ain't gonna say you gotta be like the person to get over, but you gotta tell a story like Bray Wyatt on the mic. But then some people you could just, it's Braun Breaker. I mean,
Hmm.
but I'm not. No, I'm not comparing him to Goldberg as far as like no. All right. What I
Oh,
mean,
we gotta get to the flowers that he gave that Goldberg gave Breaker too. But we'll tell your
yeah,
part story first.
that's why I was gonna switch over to like Braun Breaker does remind me of Goldberg as well, as far as his intensity, as far as the raw power, as far as
Mm.
the athletability, as far as the speed. But he
Hmm.
has way more tricks up his sleeve.
But he can wrestle. But Breaker can wrestle, and you
He
can
can
see it because
wrestle.
he definitely comes from like the Steiner. He definitely is a Steiner in that sense because the Steiners both of them could get busy in the ring and could absolutely wrestle and wrestle
Wrestle.
like purely wrestle. Yeah, wrestle really well in the ring. Like I love the flowers that Goldberg gave, and he's the second one to do it because Taker did it too, where it was like Breaker should be the only one to use the spear. And I don't blame them for saying this because of how hard Breaker hits people with the spear. Like when I do the whole Monday Night Ribs thing, like it's
Yeah.
a real thing. Like with the way like he's like destroys people with that spear, and it's like he's absolutely one of my favorites to watch in WWE. Like right now is Breaker because he's just like the intensity is there, the speed is there, like the athleticism. I love like people gave him his flowers for what Breaker did on Raw on Monday, where he carried the gauntlet match and was outstanding from wire to wire in that match. I thought like Breaker's going to be a world champion in under 2 years, and it's going to be completely understandable when it happens.
He carried it.
Yeah, oh yeah, he went wire to wire. He went bell to bell.
I wouldn't say he carried it. Like, like when you talk about somebody carrying, and it's like Daniel Bryan with Roman Reigns when they tag teams. Daniel Bryan carried that match, not Roman.
Sure,
Like,
but Breaker carried a lot of the flow and a lot of the attention in the gauntlet. Like he put in a lot of the work in the gauntlet match.
I don't know to say he carried it, bro, because that's wow. I don't know. I don't know if Jay and Punk would agree with that, bro.
I mean,
Penta, Penta,
I'm not getting confused. Like Penta and LA Knight and Jay and Punk, like they all had their parts in it, obviously. Like I'm not like don't get it confused, but like Breaker, it felt like he like dictated a lot of the tone. Like it felt like he had a lot of the tone of the four matches he had.
I think I think they all played their part. And what I mean by that is, first of all, I love how they lined it up perfectly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, me
We
too.
knew we knew Penta was going to go out, and but I knew as long as Penta wasn't no squash match, I was cool with that.
Right.
But for that little bit of time, Penta did his like everyone played their part at the time from the time that they had is what I believe. Um,
I like that. I
that's
like
why
that. I like that thought.
that's why I wouldn't say he carried it. Because I say he carried it as in it was only him that was the ring general. He was the one that was telling everybody, you know what I mean? But I think they all played their part perfectly well to help Braun Breaker tell his story too. Because he's
Mm.
already believable, but they're not no none of them niggas in there was ass. All them niggas was all
Right. Oh no,
top
they all
quality.
cooked. No, like no, all four of them cooked it with Breaker. No question. That's
Yeah.
true.
Like if you had a if you had like Grayson Wilder and Austin Theory, yeah, I get
It
it.
wouldn't have hit the same.
Yeah, but you got Henson, Knight, Punk, Jay, and they all played their role perfectly for that argument. We got 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and they played that shit well, bro.
Hmm.
Cause that was like, bro, from LA Knight on, even though you get like, LA Knight might beat, I don't know, it's LA Knight, like, but it's like for me, LA Knight on, I felt like it could have went anywhere. Like,
The Breaker could have lost. Yeah, I can see that.
yeah. And then now the final boss was Punk. I'm like, and we know how Punk wants to get back in that main picture. So it's like,
Hmm.
yeah, man. But either way, Breaker did look good as he looked good, man. They all did that thing, man. That's like if it would have been no different if it was like, all right, let's just say I'm uh Ray Phoenix, and then
Hmm.
you got LA Knight, and then you got RKO, and then you got Cody. You know what I mean? It's like,
No, that makes sense. Yeah.
yeah, like damn, bro. Like from LA Night on, it could go anywhere.
Right.
I mean, if it was Ray Phoenix, we know Brian gonna get him out
You,
of
you
there.
know,
But
he'll take a super dope spear to close that out,
yeah,
and then and then we'll move to, and it really did go up in difficulty in terms of like WWE accolades and accomplishments, where it's like, okay, Penta just got here, but he's been rock
hmm,
solid since he got here, putting
absolutely.
on really good matches and putting on bangers, and Penta's been super dope. Plus, it continues to advance the Penta versus Steph's crew rivalry. And then LA Knight continue to advance the LA Knight versus Seth's crew rivalry. Yeah, like continue to advance that story. Cool. Jay won the world title at WrestleMania, obviously, and has been a main event player for the last 2 years on Raw. Yeah, that makes sense to put him like third in this whole deal. And then obviously Punk, who's well accomplished and like the future Hall of Famer that he will be. Oh, OJ is too, but the future Hall of Famer that Punk is, and like the most accomplished here. So and you figure you're gonna have your biggest star go last. So like yeah, that makes sense. Like it just that was just strategically the order that they put it in. I thought was really smart too.
How you feel about Oh, matter of fact, no. Let's not get off. So talk more about the flowers Goldberg gave to Braun Breaker.
Yeah, it's like so Goldberg, like I was mentioning before, and saying like how intense Breaker is with the spear, and how Breaker is so like Goldberg put himself over saying like no spear is like mine, but Breaker's the one that should have the only one to use it currently because of how intense it is and how devastating it is when Breaker uses it, and how
It's not
fast
Roman.
how fast the like Breaker is when he uses the spear.
It's not
So
Roman.
yeah, no, yeah, he said Breaker should use it exclusively.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. Not Roman though.
not Roman. Yeah, he's the second one to do it because Undertaker said it like 2 weeks ago. Like I think on a 6 feet under pod. Right, he was like, Breaker should be the only one to use the spear. And like where Taker got that from was when he destroyed ISO Speed
Yeah,
and at the Royal Rumble. But yeah, but Goldberg is saying like in general, like those spears like his, but Breaker's was close is basically what he said. Whereas like Breaker should be the one like the only one to use the spear because it's like he's just so lethal with it. I
Goldberg,
can see
Goldberg,
that.
Goldberg would
That's
say Goldberg would say no spears like his, but Braun comes close. He would
yes.
say that. Like, I will say that again, and this is not the shit on Goldberg. Like, first of all, the setup for the spear, I think Goldberg has the best setup as far for the spear.
Hmm.
But I still believe because a spear ain't shit without your dancing partner, bro.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
Um, I believe that Braun may have all the intensity and the power, but I still believe Braun is more. He's safer. I think he's safer with his spear. That's why um his dancing partners are able to make it even more than what it is. Yes, they both. Yes, they. Hold on, they just text me. Hold on one
Like
second.
yeah, like it sounds like you're saying like yeah, they're both intense, and yeah, the speed is ridiculous, and obviously both of them got football backgrounds, Breaker and Goldberg do, and like Breaker's speed, I think is what makes his spear so devastating. It's the simple fact that it's like Breaker from as long as you give Breaker any sort of like head start or any sort of space,
Yeah.
it's a wrap for somebody who's gonna get speared because of how fast he is
Hmm.
and how like oh, you're in trouble if he's got like if he sees you coming and it's like okay, and you're not really prepared for it. GG's,
Yeah.
like it's done for you.
Like, and I think so. So yeah, I think Breaker is safer with his spear on the strength of yes, Goldberg and Braun both played football, so they both know how to tackle properly.
Hmm.
But football tackle in the wrestling ring are different.
Hmm.
Yes, Braun is stupid young, so he has a lot of mistakes to make, a lot of mistakes to be made. But as of now, you haven't heard anything about him being unsafe. You
Right.
heard that early in Goldberg's career.
Yeah.
So, I'm saying like maybe Goldberg Spear may be the best of all time, maybe, but we got to take into consideration because he's known to not be a safe wrestler. Were they all legit? Like, when they all was like, damn, that shit hurt. Not like it hurts as taking a bump. Like, bro, you really fucked me up. Like, you
Hmm.
got because when you got someone like a Braun, just as big and bad, strong, intense, and all that shit, and you line both of them two trains up, and they hit the other person like, all right, well, this one hurts and this one hurts, but if I this one felt safer.
Right.
That's and again, I'm not shitting on Goldberg, but I believe because of his reputation not being a safe wrestler, I think Braun may have him in that one. He got the
Maybe
same
it's.
intense power and speed and
Hmm.
impact, but they sell it more.
Yeah. They do sell like Breaker's spear. Yeah, his spear definitely does get sold.
They
And
are the
sold well.
same. Roman is bigger than Braun, uh,
Right.
and he's not as fast as Braun, but he's still again another football player. But no one gets knocked the fuck out by their spear.
Right.
I mean, I'm not saying no one, but everyone gets knocked the fuck out by Goldberg and Braun spear. But again, the same intensity, the same power, the same speed, the same strength. Everyone every week get knocked the fuck out by Braun, and no one's complaining about what he done.
Hmm.
So that's why I'm like I'm not shitting on you, Goldberg, man, but I don't think he has the best spear because of the safety version. The safe, I don't think motherfuckers are gonna. You can't sell it if it's legit.
Yeah, no, there's no need to. There's no need to
Yeah,
sell. If it's legitimately, if it's legitimate and it's like it actually hurts, yeah, no, there's no need to sell that.
yeah.
It's that you can see that, like it's clear as day.
So,
I think the other part about this is like the fact of like when they played football, where
ooh,
in Goldberg's time being in the '90s, where it was way more physical in terms of tackling, and it was way less like worries about head trauma or physical trauma that one may deal with on a football field, as opposed to Romans when he played. Is a little less, little more studies about that, and then Breaker when he played, a little bit more studies about that because obviously Breaker's younger. Like little bit more studies about it, a little, and obviously the whole like tackling safe and all that, like that's coming into play more. It's like people who will use spears in like 10 years, like they're going to be entirely different in that realm. But yeah, I think maybe it's like the time of when people were these guys were playing ball, and then transition to wrestling. I think that's another part of this, which is probably why Goldberg's spear felt reckless for some people,
and you
as
can say the
opposed
same.
to Goldberg, as opposed to Romans, which is relatively safe, and Breakers, which is relatively safe but incredibly fast. And like compared to Edges, although Edge didn't really play ball like that, I don't think.
I was about to say that.
But yeah, like Edge is obviously a little bit before Roman, but obviously after Goldberg. And but Edge just looked super safe. But Edge is also a really good technical wrestler with it. So I think that's different. I think it's just a matter of like timing and when that was. Like if Goldberg were prime now, as opposed to prime in the '90s, maybe Goldberg's spear is probably different, and maybe it's a little safer because he'd probably be a little wiser to it or more hip to okay, what's currently going on. So Goldberg never really had to change much because his aura was always like that, and he was box office, so he could sell it off of who he was and what he built his game off of. So he never really had to change. So like, I don't really fault Goldberg for not necessarily changing his style up or modernizing his style because he never really had to. Like it was like a classic Chevy or a classic Cadillac. It was just like oh it just works. Like you can put Goldberg in most eras, it's probably going to work because the aura fits and the power and the reputation, like all of that fits. All that is just gonna all that's gonna sell, which is why that crowd in Atlanta was so. I mean, granted, Atlanta's his home, but like that crowd was hype and would have been hype wherever they did it. With Goldberg's last match.
All right, so
It,
check this out. So, with all that being said, that's a good comparison. The '90s, way more physicality. You could say the same thing about Ahmed Johnson. You feel
yeah.
me? But let me play white devil's advocate. So, what about Edge? Like we spoke about him. What about Rhino? Same age. Edge ain't played
Yeah.
ball. Hold on. Edge ain't played football, but his he had that whiplash. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That was just as believable as Goldberg. And then you got Rhino. That's a motherfucking cake coming at you.
Mm-hmm.
And that how we gonna forget about Rhino's like Rhino is Goldberg is top two to me. Now, Brian, break it into the chat, but let him be here a little bit more longer. You feel me?
I can
But
see why
Rhino,
you'd say the gore. I can see
yeah.
that. I can see
So
that.
come on, now. Well, let's talk about it.
Yeah, we got to throw Rhino Gore into the chat. Yeah, that's of like the best spears of all time. Spear
Yeah,
slash
man.
Gore. Yeah, because Rhino obviously bringing the ECW flavor into it. I
Exactly. That's what I'm
think
saying.
that gave him the leeway to crash out of somebody with a Gore.
So
And
we can. I can't look at Goldberg and say because the time that he played ball. I mean, it makes sense. That's why I threw Ahmed Johnson out there. Like, I'm not completely dismissing what you're saying.
hmm
I mean, we can still go with Farouk as well, Ron Simmons. I'm like, but as far as the unsafe wrestlers, that has a reputation of safe, Ahmed Johnson and Goldberg was with the Spears. But when you look at the time frame, Edge ain't that far over. And his spirit was just as snappy, just as believable. And then when you got the originator, Gore, Gore,
yeah,
Gore,
yeah,
that motherfucker
and that and
didn't
like
sit.
Rhino's aura with the Gore and like and even before Heyman started doing the commentary for it, like Rhino's aura with his Gore was crazy.
That's what I'm
In
saying.
ECW, it was absolutely crazy. I think the fact that it was ECW gave him the more leeway to bring more energy to it and to bring more violence to his. I think that made sense, and that felt like a tackle, but it felt like devastating when Rhino did it. So no, Rhino absolutely should enter the chat for greatest spears of all time, like no question. And Edges always felt safe to me. Like it felt
He
like
did.
yeah, and I think it was sold really well by those who got speared by
Yeah,
Edge. I
yeah,
think they and Edge sold it well with like how intense he was and how manic he
yeah,
was when he did it. I think that was a really good mix to me, but I never got the sense that Edge's spears were unsafe. Like I always thought
right.
Edge's spears were like, yeah, this is a really good look. Like it worked. Like Edge's spears absolutely worked, but it didn't feel as intense, but it also felt super super safe to me. Like it just didn't feel it, even though Edge definitely did bring his own flair of intensity to a spear. I no like no question in that.
And that's why I'm like, all right, if you want to say that about Goldberg, back being in his era playing football and bringing that over, then how do you explain Rhino? Same era, same
Hmm.
age range, same move, and no one. I'm not saying no one ever did, but Rhino was not known to be an unsafe wrestler.
Right. Oh, Rhino bell to bell was a pretty solid wrestler though. I think that's part of it. I think Rhino was like
Hmm.
he wasn't just about the gore. I think like
Yeah,
Rhino bell to bell was actually a relatively solid wrestler at peak of powers in late '90s, early 2000s. So I think that's part of it. I think that's why Rhino doesn't get the rap that Goldberg did.
because he's not unsafe.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's genuinely it.
And even with like you said, he's from that ECW era, so they did have more leeway. But bro, now you in another company, bro, and you gotta adapt. You
Mm-hmm.
just gotta adapt, and he did. He even adapted to the NXT days.
Yeah, so when he came over to WWE, and then when he obviously you're right when he came to NXT and did his
Rhino
thing.
in the
But
NXT days.
yeah, right. Rhino was still cooking with
Yeah,
and was really solid in WWE even in the mid 2000 in the mid 2010s. Yeah, he was still cooking.
that's what I'm
So
saying.
yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, as I'm saying, like it's yeah. I think we're both kind of saying the same thing. Like yeah, like it's Rhino was just like that. Like he was different version of like that when it came to his gore. And like obviously his iconic gore, like taking down the SmackDown set with Jericho, which was just like that was a new level of like
Yeah.
whoa. I didn't think that was possible to do that, but then Rhino ended up doing it, leading to the fist the next week. But I thought that was a new level of like, oh wow, that was crazy.
All right. What's next about Goldberg, man?
I think it's will there ever be another Goldberg? If Goldberg claims that answer is no. Like, will
Oh,
somebody
I
have
hope
that
not.
kind of aura? Will somebody have that kind of energy where you really don't have to do but too much and it's presentable, believable, and it's just gonna work and you basically are printing money whenever you see fit. Like, will there ever be somebody with that kind of aura that Goldberg had?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. Was you talking about just straight aura, or you talking about limited moves as well?
Straight aura with the limited moves, yes.
Nah, not at
Combining
all.
the two.
Because I say not at all on the strength of, bro. Bro. Look at these kids nowadays, bro. Everybody is bigger, faster, and stronger and taller than all of
Hmm.
us. Men, like the males and the females, bro. They are not like how it was when we was growing up. Perfect example. I was looking at AI's AAU, and he was like,
Hmm.
"Damn, what all the regular sized people like me? Everybody big as shit." um, I don't think so, bro. Just because they're way more athletic than ever. Like, just look at all the athletes from all around the world, bro.
Right.
And for limited moves and just aura, nah. You're not doing them a disservice. If anything, that's what I believe. It's too much athletic ability to shoot. There's too much powers. Like you could say the same about Brian.
Hmm.
Like Brian don't have to do shit. Um, Bronson don't have to do shit. Well, we talk about printing out money. No, no, no. As far as printing out money goes, just from the aura, I don't. Yeah, nah. Just aura wise, I feel like there's always gonna be somebody with a crazy aura. Like you bring Wardlow in right now in the WWE with Paul Heyman. What
Oh, he
Wardlow?
might legitimately be that's a guy that could absolutely use Heyman because
But
Warlow on a microphone's okay, but like Heyman as a mouthpiece for him,
yeah,
that would hit different.
but and that's what I'm saying. As far as or there's a couple people, but as far as limited moveset, no, Wardlow don't have a limited moveset.
No, he doesn't. Yeah,
So
he's actually got a bag and he's got athleticism
yeah,
with it.
yeah. So if they're nah, bro, and I think that's a good thing that there won't be another Goldberg with the aura with a limited move set because like I said, there's too much athletic ability going around, man. They're doing them a disservice, bro.
Yeah,
So
I think it's fair. I agree with that. I think it's a I think him being a one of one is probably the best case is probably the best thing here. It's the fact it just makes him different. It just makes him so different, and it makes telling stories about Goldberg so like they're more meaningful because there's no one like him since.
I
I think
mean,
that's I think that's a reasonable. I think it's very very good for everybody. That it's a
Taker,
one of one.
Taker, Kane, Brock, like Taker used like special matches. Taker's show his high flying ability. You
Right.
know what I mean? He brought out some different shit, especially on the occasion. Like I said, Taker came Brock, but Brock moveset was no. I take Brock out because Brock moveset was everything.
Hmm.
So Suplex City block Brock, yeah. If Brock came out at the Suplex City Brock, yeah, all aura, just suplex, couple suplexes, we can get away with it because he's believable.
Right.
But um, or maybe the new ball. Maybe the new ball, Elijah Holyfield. Maybe him because of
Yeah.
his
Maybe.
dad. Yeah, because of his dad. He has the look, and he can legit knock you the fuck out with one punch.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if they do
He's,
him right,
yeah, he obviously played football with the Eagles, so like, so
yeah.
he's got that part of background into it.
So if they do him right, possibly. But I don't want to see another Goldberg as far as aura and limited moveset. I don't want to see another Goldberg.
Yeah, and I think it's for the best. I legitimately think it's for the best, and like I said before, like I think it helps tell the story of Goldberg that much more because we don't have to add a like Goldberg got interrupted there. Goldberg's aura and his move set spawned this guy or this guy or this guy. The fact that we don't have to do that, I think it makes Goldberg's story and his aura post career live that much greater. I think that's the beautiful thing. It makes him that much more unique compared to everybody that else that's used the spear or uses like variations of the spear with it, like as he was rolling or since he was rolling. So I think that's a beautiful thing. I think ultimately with Goldberg is him being a one of one. I think is the best case scenario. I think that's the best legacy to have is that he's a one of one, where he came in, destroyed everything in his path, dominated everything in his path, left, came back, dominated an entirely different company, and kept the same aura and the same flow and the same style the entire time. Didn't change much of anything. And I think that's what makes Goldberg's aura special.
And yes, and let me add on to that as well because there has been quite a few people that try to repackage themselves, and I don't know if they was trying to copy themselves, mimic themselves off of Goldberg, or that's just what it was, where squash matches just walk right out. Like
Right.
Ryback was one of them. I
Yeah.
mean, that's the only one I can think off the top of my head. But
Wardlow early on in AEW was
yeah,
like that.
yeah. But who got over more between Ryback and Warlow?
Ryback got over for like 6 months. Like for like 6 months, Ryback was like one of the hottest people in the company.
I'm not talking about the get two people on his shoulder Ryback. I'm talking about the later Ryback when he squashed and just walked right out. Nobody ain't like that shit.
Oh no, no! Like when Ryback turned heel, like after Ryback turned heel, that was the worst thing that happened to him.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that was actively the like when Ryback first came in. Yeah, it was like that. Like
yeah.
everybody was rolling with it. Everybody did the whole "feed me more" thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
he had the aura with the entrance, and then
Mm-hmm.
like yeah,
Feed
no, he like when he
me
first came in, it worked.
more.
Like it worked. It absolutely worked.
Yeah.
And like when they turned him heel, that was the worst thing that happened to him. Like it was like, nah, you're way better off as a face. You were way better off chasing the title as a face, like trying to topple CM Punk, than you were going after Cena as a heel. Like it was way better as you as a face.
You know what I want us to stop doing, and it's like you got to put him in an island by himself. We got
Hmm.
to stop saying this person and that person would be great if Paul Heyman was there because Paul Heyman can make anything and anybody look good. That's how great he is.
Hmm.
Like anybody, he could, bro. He could. I don't want to say. I don't want to say no name and like make it like I'm shitting on him. He can take anybody, bro. He can take you, me, right now, and see how we're gonna be the next. We gonna change the game, and they gonna believe it because it's Paul Heyman.
Hmm.
Paul Heyman is that damn good, bro. Like I got put Paul Heyman with Omos.
He might have been able to change. He might have been able to sell Omos and sell him heavy. Not that MVP didn't, but yeah, Heyman's a different level of this. Like it's just way too
MVP,
much, way more experience than MVP at doing this. So, but yeah, he might have been able to sell Omos more, like a lot more than MVP did.
MVP, and get enough time with him.
That's probably it. Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah,
Like
that's.
look what MVP did with the Hurt business. Look what he did to Bobby Lashley. Look what he did. Look
Hmm.
what he's doing with the Hurt Syndicate. And look what
Hmm.
he started to do with Omos since he became manager. Like he made moves.
Yeah, he put Omos in
Was
big spots. Yeah, Omos had the WrestleMania with Lashley. He had the WrestleMania with
yeah.
Brock. He had a good match with Seth. Obviously, we'll get to Seth in a little bit. But yeah, he had like, yeah, he gave Omos big stages, and Omos didn't have to win there. He just showed up. He showed out though, but he showed out and he showed out well.
Man, I hope they do something with him, man. They said they ain't got nothing for him. The only thing they do with fucking Omos is have him face Tozawa at live events.
Right.
Come on now.
Just to see how much Omos, like how far he could throw Tozawa, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, man, we could we could switch gears and go to stuff. If you got anything else to say about Goldberg, man, then you can go ahead.
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good on the Goldberg front. So appreciate Goldberg. Congratulations on
Goldberg.
congratulations on an excellent career, Goldberg. Yeah, obviously, we can go back and watch like some of his classics on Peacock or wherever else we're watching WWE stuff.
All right,
But
hold on. You said watch some of his classics.
like
Come
some
on.
classic match, like some of his great, like some of his best matches.
He had like two.
Okay, all two of his classics
All
then.
right.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But
Wait, like before we go, do you remember that that when Big E was acting like Goldberg?
yes, I remember that, and I remember him meeting Goldberg too, and him like fanning out, like fanning out like he's a kid again. Like I remember that too. Like it's
That's crazy.
yeah,
Yo,
I'm kind of I kind of wish they had Big E on commentary for the last match too.
oh man,
That would have been super dope to have that.
that
Just to be
would
like
have been
that would have been
that would
super
have
cool because he's easily the biggest fan of Goldberg in the company. Like that would have like absolutely
probably
been
ever.
super dope. That Big E on commentary for that. But
And matter of fact, what
the
happened to like why did Goldberg ever have so much? Why did Goldberg have so much? Oh my gosh, slow down. Why did Goldberg have so much security?
yeah, for a guy who really didn't need any of it, like
Yeah,
that never. I never understood it, but I think it just made the entrance that much more
it
like
definitely
dope.
did.
I think it enhanced the entrance. I think that's really what that was. It's just
But
like
did anybody ever question that? Like, why did he need so
no,
much security?
no one ever really asked a question about it. I think we all just like go like this dude got so much aura. We're just gonna like as long as it's sensible and believable, we're just gonna go that route. Like that dude's the last person in that building that he's in that needs security.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's like actively maybe the most dangerous unarmed man in the building, and
Right.
he's got like security and they're all strapped up. Like what are we doing here? But it just worked. It somehow just worked, and we just kept rolling with it. It just
It's
somehow worked.
time. Oh,
Yeah, like you have to knock on the door, and then like Goldberg just like come out and rip snorting and like yeah, like it's like a caged animal or something.
He always
It,
came out like he was just got finished snorting coke, yo.
he
He
was
always came
wild.
out, ah,
Yeah, he was.
ah.
Yeah, like he's like screaming for no reason, like the snot flying all over the place.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it was
Man,
so wild.
that nigga was baking the cake.
He was
All right,
on
go.
something. He was on something while he's in those entrances. Like yeah, it was early on
Him and New
WCW
Jack, who
especially.
wins?
Huh?
Him, Goldberg versus New Jack, who wins?
Even without rules, Goldberg probably wins. I don't know how hard New Jack would have to hit him in the head to do any sort of damage. Like it's like I don't know how hard he would. Like Goldberg, I think would try his hardest to spear him through the most devastating thing he could possibly spear him through. Yeah, Goldberg probably wins that.
All right.
All right. So the second half of this pod is Seth Rollins, who earlier in the evening, Saturday night's main event, he had the match with LA Knight. Everything was looking normal. Everything was looking pretty good until Seth tried an acai moonsault. Unfortunately, LA Knight rolled out of the way. That's good for LA Knight's physical health. But unfortunately for Seth's, he landed on the bad left knee and he tweaked it. And the match effectively ended immediately after that. LA Knight got the BFT and the quick win. But it really wasn't even about getting that quick win. It was, oh, this could be bad. This could be really bad. And the way Seth reacted, it was like, oh, this could be dangerous. This could be really horrible and a devastating blow because Seth is involved in the biggest storyline right now in WWE with him, Braun, Bronson, and Heyman. And everything was looking like Seth is going to be world champion. It's only a matter of time with Money in the Bank involved. But now we don't know when he's coming back. And Seth even came on, and everyone was speculating like Triple H like dropped some knowledge on it. They went MRI in Birmingham on Monday to check it out, and then we saw Heyman was like, okay, Seth's got a year, he still got 11 months to cash the Money in the Bank, so he didn't put a
I
timeline on
love
it.
Paul Heyman for that. Oh my
That
gosh.
that was really good. That was a well done move by Heyman. Where it's like Seth doesn't have to come back right away, and he's
Yeah.
right. And he's right. As long as he beats the deadline for Money in the Bank, he good.
That's the
He
safest thing he could have said. That's the best answer.
yes, it is.
Oh my gosh, bro.
That was well done by Heyman. Heyman playing chess, well as Heyman is known to do when it comes to these promos. Like well done, check and mate by Paul Heyman. And then Seth comes on the Rich Eisen show. He's guest host. I'm guessing for the day in general. He talked about the knee injury, and he said he's going to do some tests this or next week. And Seth says he's expecting there to be a decent amount of time before he gets back. So he didn't put a timeline on it either, which I think was smart. And obviously, he's most concerned about WrestleMania season. So logically, the thought is he's worried that he may miss Royal Rumble to WrestleMania season again in his career. So that like so far, that's currently his big concern. And he's worried, like, okay, when's he going to get back? And he said he is going to come back, but obviously he's concerned about when that may be.
When that timeline is, yeah, man.
So I hope that for the second time in 10 years, he didn't tear his knee completely up, where the first time he tore the MCL, ACL, and PCL. I hope that's not the case here.
What the fuck is a BCL?
PCL, I said.
Oh, what the fuck is a PCL?
Basically, he destroyed his knee. Like, long story short, like his knee. And
Damn.
you remember the still image from the match he had with Kane in that live event, where
Yeah.
like he's doing the power bomb, and one of like his left ankle is like complete. Like his left ankle basically turns into spaghetti. Like
Yeah.
there is nothing there. It is gone. Where this time it didn't look like that. It just looked like his knee just buckled and locked on him. And like he just way too much force coming down, like trying to land on his feet. So like that's where I would think it's not that bad, but obviously he's not a doctor, neither am I. And he says he's going to do more tests in the next 2 weeks to really get the full extent of when this is happening, when he may return. So hopefully Seth is able to return quickly. And I think there's a lot of layers to what happens here with his crew. The obvious one being SummerSlam, Roman and Jay versus Braun and Bronson. It feels like the first truly obvious one. Like doing that tag match after Roman's return, and then maybe CM Punk wins the world title only for Seth to take it from him, which I think makes a lot of sense. But it's just a real shame for Seth to go out like this for the time being, considering he was on fire right now, and him and his crew were on fire.
Does that affect your draft selection?
Because he was there, it does. It has to. It has
I ain't gonna
to.
lie,
It
me
has
too.
to some
But I had to
degree.
ask you first.
I get it. It has to some degree. It won't
Yeah,
affect it too much,
right.
but like
But
whereas I might have taken him first overall.
me too, bro. I ain't gonna
I
lie. I
was
had to ask
highly
that
like
too.
I was like
Yeah,
healthy Seth, Money in the Bank. You know
yeah,
how much I
man.
love
Oh
Braun and
my god,
Bronson.
bro,
Like I was
bro.
how much like I'm like obviously the whole Monday Night Ribs thing. Like
Yeah,
yeah, like I was highly considering taking him first.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I had to ask you first, but yeah, like it does change things with me, but not too much as well. But like I want to, so we saying the same thing, man.
Right.
Damn, damn.
No, like it's the big it's devastating. It's a devastating injury
You
for
know how crazy that is. It's something as minute as our draft.
right.
Imagine how much that changes in the actual WWE, bro.
Mhm.
Raw and SmackDown.
Mhm.
God,
Like oh, this
that
hurts.
changed. That had to change everything.
Yeah, not to mention the fact like the way who's Raw's MVP this year? Like Monday Night Raw is a show. Like who's Monday Night Raw's MVP to date right now? Is it
It's got to
Seth?
go Seth.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
because
And
obviously
then
because WWE is like they've had
Seth
some
or
devastating
Gunther.
injuries as of like the last month. Because you lose Liv Morgan, you just got Bianca back,
Ah,
cool, but
yeah,
which is awesome. You just got Bianca or Bianca's close to back, and then you lose Liv Morgan who was carrying the women's
yeah,
division,
yep.
and now you lose Seth. It's like oh like that's devastating. You lose Seth, and we don't know how long he's gonna be out for. Where Liv is probably not coming back. Maybe round Royal Rumble time. That's
That's still a long time.
it's devastating. It's absolutely devastating. And like the whole Judgment Day story with her and Roxanne,
Yeah,
like that was cooking up. So like, oh, that's devastating. You might have lost like your two MVPs of Monday Night Raw in the span of a month.
yeah. And it's like on top of that, right? You got the draft coming up,
Mm-hmm.
so you know that gotta affect the draft as well. Like, or we need somebody other than Gunther, or Gunther and Jay Uso, cool, but we need somebody else.
Right.
Maybe they think that. Maybe they think that.
I mean, there's Punk, but then who's the next best heel after
Hell
Gunther? That's I
yeah,
think
man,
that's the hook you were going for. Who's the next
yeah.
best heel after Gunther on Raw? Now that it's
And
not
then
Seth.
Sammy's out. I know. We're talking about. God damn, KO out, Sammy
Yeah,
out.
yeah, that's the other part. Yeah, yeah. I mean, Sammy will be back soon, but yeah, but I get what you're saying. At least Sammy will be
I
back soon.
mean,
But we don't know. Yeah, we don't know if Kevin Owens is coming back. That's another good point.
yeah, true. Damn, and then hold on. Let's go to AEW. Adam Cole out too. Holy
That
shit,
was heartbreaking to see that during All In
bro,
too. Man, like,
bro.
oh, that
That
hurt.
messed me up, bro. That messed me up,
That
man.
hurt watching Cole. Where it looked like I thought he was gonna retire. It was like that's just like
Yeah,
second devastating injury in 4 years
yeah,
since he joined AEW, and it's like, oh, that sucks. Or actually third. That's right, because he had the neck injury. Yeah, his neck injury in that fatal four way. That's right. So three devastating injuries in AEW in like 5 years. It's like, oh, that's gross. This is brutal. And like the emotional hug he had with Paragon,
yeah,
with O'Reilly and Strong, obviously longtime friends for like 30 years almost. And then like the hug, the embrace with Daniel Garcia, and like and Daddy Magic and all everybody else really like man, like that sucked to see that. It really did.
goodness. I hope all of them get well
No
soon, man.
kidding. Yeah, definitely.
And I'm not saying this to be an ass, but this is real. Like the clock is still moving, and all that means somebody else got to step up.
Yeah.
Somebody got to step up, man. But fuck, man, you got like your major pieces out. Like KO,
Hmm.
Bianca, Liv, Seth.
That's
Sheesh.
four main players that were killing it over the last year in on Raw and SmackDown.
And especially Seth with the storyline, it changes. It got to change everything, bro.
Hmm.
It has to. It has to change who wins what or who does or how it does. It changes the championship. It does. It changes the draft,
Right.
Survivor Series,
Right.
all that shit. Because
Right.
the
Yeah.
storyline
War
that
Games. We were absolutely thinking Seth Braun Bronson for War Games. That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
come on, man,
Yeah.
that shit
Mm.
changed everything, bro. So I'm still like they though that it was still so bad. It changed. It alters our draft.
Right.
Like
That's how crazy because there's no chance that Seth and his crew would have got past the fourth pick overall. There's
hell
no
no,
chance it would have gone like we would have gone
hell
two
no,
picks. Like if I wouldn't have picked them
hell
first, I would
no.
have had to have picked them second. Because there's no chance that you would have got past your
I
second pick.
the only way that probably would have happened if, and that's not, but not even just me and you, just like the only reason why I got that close is I had to be drunk and forgot, and now I'm pissing you. Now I'm pissed off. That's the only way,
Right.
man. Fuck. All right. So look, let's end it off on this. Now that we know the injury was Seth, Now they play both sides,
Hmm.
Raw and SmackDown, but mainly Raw. Out of Just give me someone who you think, and I'm not talking about our draft. I'm talking about IRL. Who steps up?
Okay.
I'm going with Braun and Bronson, but I don't know if they're going to step up to that next level. Like I don't know. I don't know who steps up, man. Maybe somebody new.
They're gonna continue that trajectory with Braun. Because like they're
Yeah,
absolutely grooming him to be a world champion. There's
yeah.
no like they were probably doing it before this, but there's no question now that they're grooming him to be a world champion. And he may currently be the next best heel on Raw because of how like the way they're playing this out.
He can't though. We love him too
Yeah,
much.
that's true.
They're
I think
trying.
the one that makes sense is either Finn Balor or Dom Mysterio. I think I'm
Okay.
because like
Okay.
there's a
Okay.
payoff coming with the Intercontinental Championship. There's a payoff coming. There has to be. There
Okay.
absolutely has to be. I think Dom is the next best one. I think that would make sense. Where it's like, okay, can Dom jump into the world title scene after losing the Intercontinental Championship? Like I think like does Dom make the Braun type of jump where Dom's Intercontinental Champion for the majority of the year and then loses it at a big event like Survivor Series or Royal Rumble or WrestleMania, one of the core fours, and then that's when Dom makes the jump. I think Dom Mysterio is the next one to make the jump. I think it'll be Dom. I smell a turn. I smell a rat with Finn Balor. I really do, but
I like
I,
that.
I smell a rat with Finn
Yeah.
Balor. I do, but I think Dom is the one that makes the jump.
All right, I'm gonna go with I'm yes, I'm added on to that, and I'm gonna say as far as like the next up, I did say Brian and Bronson, but I don't think they're gonna make that much of a splash in comparison to either Dom or Finn Balor if it does work out that way.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna go with Naomi.
Naomi made a real good jump, and that was an incredible match that she crashed at the end of Evolution.
Yeah,
And as long as they let her cook with that women's world title, I think she can really cook with it. And
yeah,
then there's enough people on Raw that she could have real good matches with during this run.
yeah,
And like women's division wise, I think Lyra Valkyria makes the jump there too. It looks like in terms of women's division, the way Lyra's had great matches with Becky and is now adding more personality and more fire and more flavor into the promos. She's finally going the route that I wish she was gonna go in terms of like the mic work. Like I love that for Lyra, and she had that great match with Bayley on Raw. I think we're gonna get a jump from Lyra too.
I don't think Larry gonna make that much of a noise the way if Finn and Dom plays out like you said, or like I feel like Naomi. I don't think so.
Okay.
Maybe because it's a personal thing, but I know how to. I don't know. I'm just not sold on her like that. I'm sorry. I'm not sold on her like that. For some reason, I'm not. I know a lot of people. I'm not saying she's bad. I'm just not sold. Like what makes you different?
Yeah, okay. So you think it's like you just want to see more of the personality come out, because bell to bell, Lyra's got it, but I guess you want to see more of the personality.
I don't know, bro. Killers like when you got killers like Charlotte, Becky, Bailey, is starting to be a real killer. Like Lyra, like when you got assassin like Roxanne,
Because we know Roxanne's gonna be on the come up. It's a matter of time for
yeah,
Roxanne. We know that's coming. And then Stephanie Vaquer, and then like obviously Liv when she gets back,
yeah, killer like
and then
Liv.
Rhea, and Io.
Oh my, bro, it's you got too many killers, and even EO and Oscar's back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
You just wonder
But
Where would Lyra fit in this whole situation? I
yeah,
get you.
like if I'm looking at them all right now, I was like, who do I want to choose? Who do I think is going to be? Like, I'm just not there with
I get you.
like. I'm not saying she's bad. It's just
SummerSlam's the
I
biggest
always
match of her career with Becky.
yeah.
Big stage, obviously for the title, she really helped build her first run. It's absolutely the biggest match of her life, I would say, one on one
And
against her idol, and I just feel like this is going to be the closure of this run that they've had for the over the women's IC title. Either way,
look, she had a great dancing partner.
hmm she's shown that she can
So
dance with both Bailey and Becky.
with killers,
Yes.
that's it's like how I felt about um Gunther. It's like he's like he's familiar with Sheamus and Drew.
hmm
So, but then the more he kept wrestling, and the more I'm like, okay, okay, no, that nigga really is like that. I'm not saying she's not. It's just I guess I want to see more.
That's fair.
I want to see more. You know what I mean? Um, but anyway, all right. So you say Dom and Finn, or you say
I'm gonna just say
both
Dom. I'm
of them?
gonna just say Dom.
Okay. I don't think you'd be wrong to say either or, bro.
I get it.
But I'm going with both of them because and I'm still in your pick with saying Dom, but I'm going with both of them. Both of them's gonna make. Matter of fact, both of them going. Oh my gosh, both of not sound like Shannon Sharp. Both of them is gonna be number one again as far as um the main. Oh my gosh, bro. Now look. I'm fatigued. I gotta eat. I gotta eat.
Like I
I ain't.
said, you're Dave the
Yeah,
Hungry Stepdad.
yeah. I ain't eat all day. Yeah. As far as making that next jump, I'm going with Finn and Dom, man.
Okay.
Yeah, backdoor season. Oh man, we got not. We will say it for another time. I'm gonna send you a voice note about a segment I want us to do.
What's the greatest
But
betrayal of 2025? We got to, yeah, we're gonna have to do that at the end of the year. We're gonna
yeah,
have to talk
yeah.
about that.
Backdoor season is open, and man, um, and yeah. So Finn and Dom and Naomi.
hmm
Man, why is Naomi built like that, bro? Oh my gosh, she built like an AI. Like no.
I think we kind of like we sort of noticed that in the Funko Dactyl era. We started to truly pay attention to it with the Glow era, and now it's like,
Hmm.
oh, now you can't you can't miss it. No, now it's just like, yeah, like it's just there. Like you cannot miss that.
Because in the Funkadactyl era, you had her and Cameron.
Right.
So it was like, damn, like look at both of them. But uh, I lost my interest in Cameron on a personal note. I ain't gonna say it. I'll text it to you. But um, anyway, all right, man. Now I'm just dragging it. All right, I'm about to go eat.
All right, so he's got to go eat to drop the social so he can go eat food.
at Dave the Stepdad on all social media platforms. And not only I'm going to grab me some grub real quick, spin in the block, come back, come on my watch me on my Twitch. I'll be gaming, So I'm gonna take a quick break, going right back to gaming.
All right. Beastmike here on Twitter, Beastmike215 on TikTok, on Blue Sky, on Threads for the people. There's like 3 to 5 people who use Blue Sky and Threads. On IG, Beastmike215 as well. Beastmike's Train of Thought on YouTube. There'll be some videos on the baseball as we're in the All Star break. Shout out to Kyle Schwarber for winning All Star Game MVP last night with the bombs he hit and the home run derby swing off, if you will. And so I'll have a couple of baseball
Swing
video.
off.
Yeah, like it's like home run derby, like a mini home run derby is what happened here. What happened in Atlanta? All Star games in Philly
Oh,
next year, so they're gonna do.
get the hell out of
Yeah, it
here!
is. It's in Philly. Obviously, they're celebrating the 250th anniversary of his country, so a lot of events are coming to Philly. World Cup, All Star Game, MLB All Star Game. Like a bunch of other stuff is gonna happen next in 2026. Like the city's getting ready for it, like as we speak, pretty much. So
Right when I'm about to leave, Philly.
so yeah, so there's going to be a whole lot of stuff happening next year. The All Star Game. They're going to do a celebration on Friday at Door Park, and like the Roots are going to perform there. There's going to be a bunch of stuff that happens on Friday. Like some
You know what time?
alumni is going to pull up. It's at noon. It's going to be at noon. It's going to be at noon, and they're going to like drop the All Star Game merch at the Majestic store at 12:30 on Friday afternoon. And yeah, it's going to be like a big like party as like the countdown of the All Star Game starts on Friday as Atlanta passes the torch to Philly, and then we'll do our thing, like they'll unveil the logo and all that stuff. So that's a big day. And so Beast Mike's train of thought. Tonight and tomorrow, more than likely, I will be dropping a couple of videos on how all 30 teams are looking at the All Star break. The NL video will come first, as I'm almost done putting the script together for that, and the AL video will come tomorrow. So like the NL video probably comes tonight or early tomorrow, and then the AL video will come tomorrow or early Friday.
4 letters, one word.
Yeah. Catch y'all later.